Howdy everybody, welcome back once again. I am going through and debugging a whole bunch of stuff. There's a small slurry of updates coming for this template along with the 5.8 version. So far we have, I have fixed a bug with the crafting system over here that caused the mesh in hand to stay equipped after you crafted something. There was also another bug that caused the widget to stay after you ran away, so now everything is on a e-interact system, and this box just acts as a safeguard. If you run away, then it double closes the screen. The jump animation has been updated to something that's not so terrible. The loading widget has been debugged. You can actually see the throbbers now. The socket rotation on tools and weapons and location has all been updated and fixed. There is now an attribution screen. The tools and weapons themselves have all been updated. The interact checker now has a larger hit, so it doesn't have to be exactly on the ground. The spells have been updated, the VFX on the spells, and there was also a bug with the kill quest that caused the experience bar to not update. With all that out of the way, today we're gonna be doing a couple buffs right here in the buffs folder, spells, and let's see. We're going to be doing a couple buffs, and with those buffs, since they're going to be a regeneration and a max hit point buff, then I want to make it show on the hits on the status screen here. See how everything is white? I want current health, like if it's 150, I want it to be green when it shows 150, or max health, I mean, or max mana. That way we know those stats are buffed. So it looks like we could use a max stamina buff. We'll just do everything all in one. Health, stamina, and mana. So to start off, let's just duplicate this. This one is going to be BP stats buff. And we'll duplicate this one more time. This one is going to be called BP regeneration. So let's start off with the stats buff. We do need the hips socket because of the type of Niagara it's going to be. Spell potency. This is going to be stats buff. So next we need to go into our spells data table. I can't remember where it's at. Let's make this just a bit larger so I can actually see. Where did I put the data tables? magic system, spell names. We're going to add 2 more here. This one is going to be, what was it? Regeneration. And this one's going to be stats buff. Okay. And then we need not that, we need data table spell info, and we're going to add 2 more. Those 2 more are going to be what's the regeneration and stats buff? Regeneration and stats buff. Spell class for stats buff is going to be stats buff. Spell class for regeneration will be regeneration. It's a buff. This is also a buff. We're gonna need spell images. Let's do none of these look very good. I might cut out for a second and try and find a couple. Oh, here's some down here. I am in the wrong screen. What am I doing? Sorry guys, a little bit early. I am so sorry about that. So, here's what we did. This is regeneration. Its spell class is BP regeneration. It's a spell. The spell name is regeneration, and it's a buff. And we did the same for the stats buff. It's a buff. BP stats buff is the spell class. And let's go ahead and rename them. F2 for regeneration. And then F2 for stats buff. Mana cost is 55, and the regeneration is also going to be 55. Regeneration is going to be 5 hit points per, well, just for testing, let's do 20. No, 5 should be noticeable. 10. The price is 1,000 gold. And we're going to add 100 on our stats for potency. This one will also cost 1,000 gold. And I'm gonna pause right quick and get some spell images for this. I'll be right back. Alrighty. Unpaused it because we've got a little bonus round here. And that bonus round is GIMP. Where is it at? I love this program. If I can find it in my rat's nest over here. It's a great program. If you've never used it, it's free. It's the same as Photoshop, almost. A little bit of a learning curve. So we're gonna File, Open. I have found my two images. They are labeled 22 and 222. Here's one, here's the other. We're gonna open them. And what we're gonna do is go to Image, Scale Image, and I believe the others are 128. Let me check right quick, just to be safe. 128 by 128. So we want 128 by 128. Scale. And then this one, Image, Scale Image, 128 by 128. Scale, File, Export as. Oh, it's already as a JPG. And what's the theme? T-Spell Icon 4 is where we're picking up. T-Spell Icon 4. Export. File. Export as. T underscore spell icon 5. Export. And we are all done here. And now where is my downloads folder? Right here and here. And we're just gonna import them. Beautiful. So back into the data table, on the regeneration spell, we're going to use spell icon 5, and on the stats buff, we are going to use spell icon 4. And I believe that's gonna do it. Save all. Now if we play, we need to go to our spells teacher, and we are going to expand on spells selected. We want stats buff and we want regeneration. Now, save all. Oops. Let's move her just a bit, just to refresh it. Save selected. And when we go to her, she should have the new ones, and she does. So just to verify that they're working, let's select one. It is working exactly as intended. We're out of mana though. That one is also working exactly as intended. And while we're going, I am gonna take up about 3 extra minutes on this video, and I want to test the quest givers and stuff. We have completed that quest, we've leveled up, we've got experience. We completed that quest, we got our experience. We are at the progression locked quest. We have to hit this thing 2, 3, 4, 5. That experience is updating as it should. And next up was the crafting bug. So if I don't have the reagents, it's reset back to normal, and there is nothing stuck in my hand. And for good measure, let's do this. Sword mesh is not stuck in my hand. Perfect. Beautiful. And now we need to get into the functionality of those spells, don't we? I have not pulled them up yet. So, blueprints. Spells, buffs, regeneration, and the other one was a stats buff. Perfect. These are going to be attached to the hip socket because we are going to use this Creative Commons, which is in the attribution screen. We're going to use this Creative Commons, and we're going to use bottom spells, and I think for regeneration should be similar to the heal. We'll use this one. Viewport. And we'll use that. Compile and save. Oops, that's a stats buff. We want this one. I got mixed up because the particles are the same. So that's going to be regeneration, compile and save, and this one's going to be the stats buff. And stats. I don't know, this one looks kind of neat. Let's use that one. That looks really good. Compile and save. And now we need the event graph. So, on this one, there is no player ref. Let's pull off of here, scooch all this back just a little bit, and we are going to get max health, and then we are going to set max health. We are going to add the spell potency to it. And then we are also going to get, let's move this up, this is going to get complicated. let's get the stats screen ref. What was it called? My files are kind of a mess right now. I've got to go through and clean them all up, so don't mind them, please. Next we need the player blueprints and widgets. Start discovered area. Huh. Maybe it's in player menu reference. Get player menu. Get stats. Get widget blueprint status window. There we go, now we're getting somewhere. Plug that in so we don't forget. And we're going to need this again, so duplicate and on status window, just for good measure, let's go to widgets, common widgets. That's not it. Status window is the one. Max health, we are looking for text block 2. And it's not there. This is the status window. Wonder what's going on there. Wonder why. Oh, it's not a variable. That would explain it. Now get text block 2. Set color and opacity. Cope with me, guys. We're plugging away at it here. And then we're going to make slate color. And the color we want those buffed stats to be is a vibrant, bright green. Just like that. it's going to destroy the actor. We're going to need a sequence here, because we're going to do two things at once. We're going to destroy the VFX, and then we're going to use this to get the spell info potency, and we are going to subtract it from the max health, and then we're going to set the max health and we need this and this, and we need a delay, and let's do 30 seconds. That should be about enough time to check out the window, see if it's working, and all that fun stuff. So that's health. Oh wow, this tutorial is already almost 30 minutes long. I'm sorry, guys. And gals. So there's our stats buff. We have learned our stats buff. The VFX is right. Status. Our max health is green now. And, so in 30 seconds, it should go back down, but I forgot to set the color back to normal as well. This is taking way too long. Something's not right. Something's not right there. Let's set the delay down to 10 and try again. And while we're here, let's get all this fancy stuff, because we're gonna use it again. And let's duplicate it. And then here, and the color is going back to white. Okay, compile and save. Something's not right there. It should have already came back. So what's going on there? Is it because it's being destroyed? Spell potency. Let's move that to there. Compile and save so they're symmetrical. I may have to pause this and debug because this is already going on way too long. There it is. It's because it's being destroyed. So it needs to be destroyed after the buff wears off. Okay, so that's what was going on. We are back on track with this lovely jungle going on here. So next we want to, this may as well be a player variable. Player reference. Promote to a variable. Let's name it player ref. There's no player ref here. What's going on? Huh. It's already in use, but it's not being used. So that is very strange. Compile and save. Let's try again. Oh, because of the parent. How about player reference? How about that? And then we need to do a player reference here. We need a player reference here. And we need a player reference here. And here. Let's get rid of this. Add a delay here. And test it just to make sure that it's working still. Some of this stuff gets really finicky. We have bought our stats buff. We have casted our stats buff. We have a pretty green. And it's gone back. All is well and good. Beautiful. Alrighty. I'm gonna take a break and go through the rest of these stats and clean this up a little bit. I'm gonna go through the rest of the stats just because some people learn with repetition. I know I sure did. And I would like to go through and do the rest of the stats just in case. Just in case there's somebody else like me. Let's get this somewhat organized. Alright, time for a break, and it's probably going to be a split second for you, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do max mana. Let's go ahead and actually pull these out. Get max mana and get max stamina. And we also need to do it over here. Set max mana. Set max stamina. Just so I know where everything is at. And this is going to need a variable for max stamina. That's going to be a variable. Max mana. That's going to be a variable. Alrighty, we are all set up. I will be right back. Alrighty, back again. On this stats buff, where did we leave off? So, we need max stamina, max mana, max health. We're also going to need it over here. So let's just scooch all this over again. And off of the player, we're going to need all of this again. So let's just duplicate it, control duplicate down here for now. Let's scooch this over, scoochy scooch. This is turning into quite the mess. And we'll need this 2 more times. Control duplicate, control duplicate. We want max mana, max stamina. This guy is gonna go into here and into here. And then we need these 2. Duplicate. And we'll continue with that. This is going to go into here. These 2 got mixed up in the chaos. That one is stamina. That one is mana. going to set the color and opacity for text block 6, which is a variable, and text block 10. And text block 10. Can we do them all in the same one? We can. Awesome. Let's scooch this back this way just a little bit. Get some room. We don't need this sequence. We do need the delay. We'll leave it at that for now. We need this. Two more times. We want max mana, max stamina, minus the spell potency, this one is mana, this one is stamina, and they once again got mixed around. So we'll clean that up. These go up here. Get rid of some of this spaghetti. And then we need 10 and 6 again for down here. Let's move this back. Move that down. Setting the color back to normal, and then we're destroying. Let's move this back just a little bit. I really don't like all this spaghetti, but it happened. We're there, dude. Let's just move it up here. How about that? So in theory, if we compile and save, we should be able to go learn that buff spell. Everything worked. Beautiful. So now that we know it's working, let's go back in here, and this delay can actually be more like 300 or something. And I thought about this on my break. There's one bug we gotta watch out for. And if it does what I think it's going to, we can use a bool to fix it. Let's get our stats buff. Let's learn it. Let's get a couple potions. Let's get our mana back right quick. Yep. We're getting double buffed. So to fix that bug, let's go way back here. Let's move this back. Let's add a sequence. And in the player, we're going to add a bool called isBuffed, and compile and save. In the stats buff, let's go to, that might be just a little bit early. I got ahead of myself there. Let's move this aside. Bring this back. Up just a little bit. Down. Now let's do our sequence. And off of the player, we're going to set isBuffed to true. And back here, let's do a branch. No, that's not going to work. Back here, let's do a branch, and we're going to get isBuffed. If it is true, do nothing. If it is false, buff. And at the very end of all this, let's do another sequence. Oops, that's a delay. First, we will get our player reference and set isBuffed to false. Alrighty, I know that was a lot to learn. I'm not going to do the regeneration spell on tutorial. I think you guys get the gist of this, how to build your own spells. To recap, we are checking if the player is buffed. If they're not, then we're going to buff them. If it's true, then we're not going to do anything. If they're not, then we're going to set that they are. We're creating the player reference. We are spawning the Niagara system right here to the hip socket, which is actually at the feet. We're grabbing our spell info. We're grabbing our max health, max mana, max stamina, and we're adding the spell potency to it and setting all those variables within the player reference. And then we're grabbing the menu reference, the status window from the menu. We're grabbing text block 10, 6, and 2, and we're setting that color to green so that it indicates that our character is buffed. And after 300 seconds, we are grabbing the same player reference and the spell potency, and we are subtracting from the max health, and then and mana and stamina, and then we're setting the variable within the player blueprint. After that's completed, we are taking the same text blocks and we're setting them back to white, and then we're turning off our buffed bool within the player character and delaying 0.2 seconds and destroying the actor. So in theory this should work. I'm not going to go through regeneration with you guys. Well, I can if you want, but I think your brains are probably cooked, going on almost an hour now. So in theory, if we get stats, spells, stats, we can go ahead and cast it. Get our mana back. And we are staying at 140. You just casted mana for no reason. Next, we need to do the regeneration spell that was created earlier in this tutorial. Let's check the quest log while we wait on those spells to wear off. Still going. Our experience. Quest log. Do we not have a gold icon? Is that what's going on there? Seems like those stats should have shut off by now. Let's go kill a couple things. Grab some spells and kill a couple things. are those stats not going back? I don't understand that. There's something wrong with that. There it goes. Okay, everything is working as intended. There's our hoe. There is our water bucket. There is our corn plant. We have harvested 1 corn. Everything is fine and dandy, and debugged, and beautiful. And we already checked that one earlier in the tutorial. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. It was quite the journey, and I hope you have a great day, and I hope the world brings you incredible things. Have a good one.